London Joint Stock Bank is established in year 1836 and the founder director is Joshua Schoolfield MP. Millan and Authur is a partnership firm in London that one of customer of London Joint Stock Bank. A clerk named Class G prepared a cheque for £2 to payable to bearer. However, the space for the sum in word left blank on the cheque. The employer, Mr. Authur, just signed the cheque without taking reasonable due care about the cheque. Then the clerk used the lack of due care of Mr. Authur toward this cheque to alter the amount to £120 and inserted the word. In the next day, Class G not come to work and Mr. Authur took this opportunity to look through clerk book. Mr. Authur found the clerk had altered the cheque to £120. The issue is whether Mr. Authur had negligent to exercise his duty of customer. 2. Whether Mr. Authur had negligent in cheque payment. Whether London Joint Stock Bank is duty to make payment to the pupil named written in the cheque.
Did you know, in this case, there is one mistake that has been made by the defendant. The defendant actually has breached one of the duty of customer, that is where customer must exercise reasonable care in drawing their cheque. The situation can be pictured like this. Excuse me, can I know why your bank credits €120 from my account? Okay sir, we draw the cheque with €120 because the amount is €120. Seriously? What are you trying to say? The signatures is not being forged. It is clear from Mr. Authur. On the cheque was €2 only on here. I think your clerk that has come to draw the cheque has added some changes on the cheque. But how? It can be your clerk at the value between the blank space that has been left on the cheque. That is why the total changed to 120. Furthermore, we also found that the figure of 2 was from right-handed person and the signature from left-handed person.
Really?
Whatever it is, can I get my money back? We are sorry, sir. You can't get your money back. You have to bear with all the loss because you have failed to follow the duty. So we can see that the customer negligence on their duties can lead to bank mistake.
Tarik ses. Semongko.
And next, I will explain about right and duties of a banker in this case. Bank has tried to expect the customer to take due care when issuing checks. Okay, next, bank has tried to be indemnified for loss in
when carrying out a service for customers.
Based on this case, the alteration is not clearly seen. And the bank is not responsible for any fraud. Duty of a banker. Okay, a banker need to collect money and check that customer has paid in.
The banker has duty to exercise care and skill
The banker need to pay on demand all the checks
at account provide that they are drawn in the proper form.
Based on this case, the customer is not exercise reasonable care in drawing checks.
Oh hi, my name is HAZIRAH binti Abu Bakar. Let's get into this video. Wait. According to this section, a cheque is a written order instructing a bank to pay someone on demand, that is to pay them when the cheque is paid in, or a request for cash is made. In this case is creditor and debtor relationship. The bank is liable for damages for a cheque wrongly debited to a customer's account. It falls into the category where paid cheque with alteration without customer's consent. The fact of this case is the plaintiff had a clerk and had been working for a few years for them. On 9th of February 1915, Mr. Authur, who was the plaintiff partner, was asked to sign a cheque for petty cash amounted £2. On 11th of February, Mr. Authur and his solicitor went to bank and found out that the clerk presented a cheque for £120, which had been paid to him. The clerk was found guilty and ran away with the money. The court held that the firm had been guilty of a breach of the special duty arising from the relation of a banker and a customer because there was an alteration in the amount of the cheque.
The first lesson learned from the cases, a customer must exercise reasonable care when drawing cheque so that the bank is not misled. Okay. Secondly, the customer was responsible for any losses caused by her drawing of a cheque in such a manner as to facilitate a fraudulent alteration of the cheque. Thirdly, the company should have examined bank statement which will have revealed the fraud or any unauthorized transaction. Okay, lastly, the bank should take care all the necessary steps in examining and identifying the cheque. The next topic is the right alternative should be done by both parties. Firstly, the obligation of the banker to honor the customer cheque if the account is in credit. Secondly, a cheque drawn by a customer is in a point of law a mandate to the banker to pay the amount according to the period of the cheque. Thirdly, it is beyond dispute that the customer is bound to exercise reasonable care in drawing the cheque to prevent the banker being misled. And lastly, if he draws the cheque in a manner which facilitate fraud, he is guilty of a breach of duty as between himself and the banker, and he will be responsible to the banker for any losses.